Hi darlings, welcome to the first tea time of 2026. And I know I tried and stalled and stopped with tea time last year, but I'm locked in this year because I have a lot of conversations that are on my heart. I want to share with you. Not only that, I miss you all. I miss doing tea times. This is like my happy place. I don't make tea times for any other reason other than to talk with you because I think these conversations are so important and relatable, and I think that there's other women out there that are going through the same things that I'm going through. So today's topic is I do it for the daughters watching me, and we're gonna dive into that deeper after I tell you a little bit about the tea that I'm drinking. So darlings, today's tea is one that I just bought in Thailand, and it is a lemongrass pandan. It has like the most beautiful, refreshing flavor. It's very comforting. I just got back from Thailand, and you'll have to go to my shorts because I shared about going to Thailand with my ex-in-laws, who I still consider my family. They basically, helped raise me. I moved in with them when I was 18 after I had my first daughter. Just a little backstory, my baby daddy, I moved in with him and his family when I was 18. They took me in because the situation at my home wasn't allowed to live there anymore, basically. So anyway, they took me in, they fed me, they provided so much structure in those early adult years. They're my family, and I go into the story a lot more on my YouTube shorts, so you can head over there if you want to hear my story about why I chose to go on vacation with them to Thailand. But anyway, when I was in Thailand, I got a bunch of lovely tea. This is one of them, and I love it. You guys have your tea? Let's go sit down and talk more about basically what I was just saying. I do it for my daughters. I learned very early when I was 18, 19, 20 that I had this really special role to play in my daughter's life. And fast forward, that's kind of what brought me to this career. So let's head over and have some tea. Being a teenage mom is it's definitely the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. In ways it was really hard, in some ways it was really straightforward because I parented on instinct, intuition, anything that I experienced growing up myself that I didn't really love. I have an opportunity to make some changes, right? My life's motivation has always been about my daughters. It's gonna be very hard for most people to understand this, but my entire adulthood and a bit of my teenage years, I have been a mom. That is a tremendous responsibility, but it also shaped and molded me into the person that I am today, and it gave me such a profound sense of purpose at such a young age. That type of passion, motivation, love, selflessness can be very frightening, but I just leaned into it. So 2026 marks my 10-year anniversary of being a content creator. I started the TTL life with my BFF because we were in our late 30s and we wanted to have a career where basically me telling stories about my life, showing travel, because at the time I was traveling a bunch. Nevertheless, the motivation for it is because I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm traveling, I'm raising children, I am all these multifaceted things. I want to be an inspiration for my daughters, but furthermore, for any daughters out there who are watching who need some inspiration in their life and some hope in their life. I, again, would love for you babes to imagine this. Two late 30-year-old women, we're 39, 38, 39. We envisioned a world where we're working for ourselves, we're able to pay for college because our kids were, approaching college age, but also where we felt we were filling a void in the world, in marketing at large. Fast forward to today, I feel extremely emotional and very proud of what we've created and the community that we've built of you darlings. So many ups and downs and trials and tribulations, except I have always had my daughters watching me and experiencing so much of my journey with me. I see the women that they've become today, and I know so much of their growth and their confidence in themselves and their ability to problem solve is because they were growing with me through my years of problem solving. That's a huge part of why I create content even to this day. The motivation and desire has not changed. I do it for the daughters who are watching me. It's my daughters watching, but there's so many other young women out there. I really hope that my messages and that my life journey story reaches, because we have so much potential as women. I think we just have so many beautiful gifts to give. So while my daughters have benefited from my trials and tribulations and my wins and me persevering and starting over and deciding to start a new career in my late 40s, and I've just recently went through a divorce and all those things, my daughters are so well-rounded. They've had the benefit of seeing and living firsthand my journey, my story, and all the things. I'm 17, turning 18, about to have this kid. In my mind, I had it locked in what type of mom I want to be. I was like, I am going to be her role model. I don't want her looking anywhere else. I didn't know if I was having a girl or a boy, so I want my child to look at me and see all the things that they needed to see in the world. Back then in the 90s, role models were not necessarily the people you live with. They were like athletes or musicians. I just said to myself, I really would love if my child saw me as their greatest role model, as their inspiration for all the things. And so I was super hands-on, wanted to like imprint in every way, shape, form. But really it's because I wanted to build up that confidence and that trust and respect between that child and I, which turned out to be my daughter, May. This conversation was very important for the first tea time, specifically because I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't always go back to like my origin story of life. And I think a lot of people see the content that I create now, they see where I'm at in my career now, working in marketing. You know, I travel the world now with brands. I get to see all the launch of all these products and everything from the outside looking in. If you're just finding my content now or just discovering me now, you think, wow, that lady, she just has it all together, you know, and she just has privilege and access, and, you know, she's living this bougie lifestyle. Maybe that's where you can see me at now, and I didn't have access. So the privilege, the access, the lifestyle that seems like she's just got it all together. What people don't see are all of the sacrifices and hardships, and everyone has a journey, everyone has a story, as do I. And the woman you're seeing now is a result of persevering over so many things. It's taken so much grit and hard work, believing in myself when nobody else believed in me. And it's why this conversation in particular is why I want to kick off the year chatting about this, because my motivation for creating content and furthermore for existing still remains the same. I want to inspire. I want people to have hope, particularly young Black women. I want us to have hope. I want us to have role models out there that are telling you, yes, you can, because I didn't have that in my life. I didn't have representation of yes, you can, but trust me, in my brain, in my heart, in my soul, I was like, that is meant for me. You can't tell me that beautiful experience, that traveling, that eating that food, experiencing those products, or meeting those people, that's not for me. I always believed it was meant for me, even when I didn't have a home, even when I didn't have a car. I know that's like the most bizarre, maybe audacious way of thinking, but I just knew that I'm intelligent, I'm capable, and I'm hardworking. That is like my secret sauce. I'm gonna make it work until it works. Again, my journey has been lots of ups, lots of downs, probably more years going without than having the things that you see me share. It's not about the products. It's always been about the mindset. It's always been about building up my confidence and knowing that I am worthy, that I have value, and that my story is not a shameful story. My journey is a beautiful one, and it's brought to life these beautiful daughters that are so well-rounded, capable, and confident in ways that when I see the women that they've become, I'm like, I don't know how I did that. I literally don't know how I did that. The takeaway from all of that I just said is, anyone who's watching this, listen, I am a Black woman, 17 years old. I was pregnant in my senior year of high school, had my daughter when I was 18, had my second daughter at 23. My journey, my origins, I could have been a statistic, but I locked into this mindset that I can do this. I can achieve, I can accomplish my goals, I can accomplish my dreams. And I've had setbacks. I've had to begin again, start again, begin again, start again. And guess what, guys? I just began again and started again in my 40s. You can have dreams, you can have goals, and it could become your reality. I don't know, it's a mindset, it's the hard work, it's the perseverance. And I think when you are really working on yourself and you are really allowing those things to come your way, paths align. Everything begins to align. I know it just sounds so like hippy dippy, like woohoo, like well, I don't know what she's talking about, but I promise you it is real. It is so real. I don't have any other way of saying it's like accomplish the impossible. I had that audacity to say that opportunity is meant for me too. That lifestyle is meant for me too. There's like things that I wanted in my life that I have now that I literally would never have imagined. That now I drive the car that I want to drive, or I travel the way I wanted to travel. Yes, it took years and years, but the life that I'm living now is a result of believing in myself and pushing through and having a plan and trying to align my goals, my mindset, my energy for the woman that I was at that time, but some of those other life goals that I wanted to accomplish, somehow the universe just made a way. It's absolutely possible. Also, if there's any young moms out there and you are struggling with making choices, I think for me, how I always approached it is, this is a really hard situation. If my daughter came to me with this situation and this problem, what would I tell her? And the moment that I role reverse myself, the answer becomes like crystal clear. Sometimes along this journey, external forces that come into your life slow you down. There's been so many times in my life where I'm like, I just don't know what to do here, because I see the person I want to be, but I think it's on the other side of this toxic relationship that I'm in. That person is blocking my energy. They're literally standing in the pathway for the life that I want to have. And in those moments, that's when I'm like, well, what would you tell May? What would you tell Zaya? You would say, you need to kick him to the curb. You need to get rid of this person because we're never going to achieve your goals, and they are actually sucking all the life energy from you. I know that sometimes when we have children, we want to stay in relationships, in situations, because we think we're benefiting our children. I've had to leave 2 relationships because I could see that was what was blocking me. Once I flipped the conversation in my brain, like if my daughter was in a relationship like this and she was being treated disrespectfully or whatever it is, we don't need to get into the nuances right now. Yeah, it becomes crystal clear. Just for anyone out there that you have all these things, but you know you have a partner that is not on side and supporting you, it is a challenge. It's really, really hard. You have to make the decision that's right for you and your family and so forth. Just to be perfectly clear, in my journey to be the woman I want to be, I also had to leave the baby daddy. I just got divorced. I had to make some really hard choices and decisions. It's been a little hard and bumpy and challenging. As soon as I got to the other side of it, let me tell you, the revelation, the doors that opened, the ways that were made. And I was absolutely right. These mofos were blocking the pathway. They were holding me back. And you know what? That is why I'm a queen today, honey. I feel it to my core. It's not to be boastful, because it's not something to boast about. I'm talking about I had to make hard decisions, and I'm so glad that I did, because these people, they didn't have my best interest of these. It really only takes one person to make an impact in another person's life. Case in point, parenting. When you have that child, your role is to guide and nurture and pour all of the structure and safety and discipline and all those things you're pouring into one person to then have them carry on. And it's, you know, they pay it forward. It's just like it's going on and on. It doesn't only have to be in parenting. And I think that that is the beauty of why I love my career so much. I feel like that is the beautiful side of this career that I have created and then get to enjoy every day, because there's someone out there who can relate to this. I know there is. My story, this video could possibly help someone, and I find that to be the most rewarding thing about social media, the most rewarding thing about what I do, because no matter where I go in the world, I meet someone. My videos have touched them. My story has touched them. You know, it's relatable. The point is, darlings, I want to offer my support, my inspiration to others, and this is my platform to do that, you know, and I want to be a conduit of hope, you know, perseverance. It's more than just inspiration. I think that people out there can see themselves in me. I've had people in my life that I was able to see myself in them, and in turn it gave me that little boost that I needed to push through. So darlings, thank you for joining me on the first tea time. I know this may seem like I'm talking about the end, but this is the beginning of a new TTL, a new story. I think it's so important to keep pivoting, changing, evolving. You know, it's 2026. Fire Horse, I'm here to continue to motivate all the things for myself and others. One person can have the impact on another. I think that us showing up for each other, it really does matter. I am so thrilled that we kicked off 2026 doing it for the daughters that are watching us. Oh my gosh, I am almost done with my lemongrass pandan tea. I hope that you enjoyed this. Just as like a little teaser, I've already like got my notes going for the next tea time. I want to talk a little more specifically about my divorce. I think you heard in this video, I have a baby daddy. We were never married, but then after him, I got married. My divorce has been final for a year. I did want to talk a bit about my divorce. It's not something that I share on social. I'm very private about it. I was very private about my marriage. I like never showed him. It's not that I want to give you the full nitty gritty of everything, but there's some things that I want to get off my chest about being divorced, what it's like being a single lady at my age. I was in a relationship with him for 13 years. The relationship started before my social media career, and now I've ended a relationship during social media career. It's been more of a private part of my life, but there's some things that I want to talk about that I think you babes or anyone out there should hear. That is what the next tea time is going to be about. Cheers. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.